How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I've got 3 fun and easy beginner riffs from the 1960s. So right now Guitar Control is giving away this really cool free chord chart. There's a link down in the description where you can download yours. It's in PDF format, and it just has every chord you could ever need all neatly compiled just into one sheet. So you can download it, print it off, put a copy where you practice, throw a copy in your gig bag, just so in any situation you can just have any chord you need at a glance, and it's a free download. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. All right, so the first one we're going to look at is a little riff, little melody from Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. So this is just made up primarily just of these little dyad shapes. So if you've seen any of the previous lessons I've done on those, so what we've got here is that we're on the 7th fret of the high E string with your first finger, and then we're on the 8th fret of the B string with your second finger. And then how I play this is I use my fingers so I can play these 2 strings at the same time. So I'm just got my first finger playing the B string and my second finger playing the high E string. So this right here, this little dyad here is a, this interval here, this shape is the one that was for a major third. Then we're going to move the note that's on the high E string up a half step. So it's going to go from the 7th fret to the 8th fret, but the note on the B string is going to move up a whole step. So now it's on the 10th fret. So this shape here would be like is a minor third. So we play this. This is 1 and then on the downbeat of 2 we rest, and on the and of 2 we just take this shape and we move it up a whole step. So now your first finger's on the 10th fret of the high E string, and your third finger's on the 12th fret of the B string. And we're going to hit that on the and of 2, and then on the downbeat of 3 we rest, and then on the and of 3 we move it back down. So it's like... And then for beat 4 we come back to 8 and 7, and this one's a quarter note. So the first measure. Now, for the second measure, we're going to do the same exact shape, but we're just going to move it up. So now our first finger is on the 12th fret of the high E, and your second finger is on the 13th fret of the B string. So we're going to do that same thing, the major, minor. So now we're at the 13th fret on the high E and the 15th fret on the B string. Then 15th fret on the high E, 17th on the B string, and then back down. So the timing's the same. Now we do that first, so the third measure is the same as the first measure. So after we do that, then starting on the 4th measure, we're going to take our first finger and we're going to move it down so it's on the 5th fret of the high E, and then you can use your third finger to pick up the 7th fret of the G string, and then you're going to play those together. Then you're going to go to the 7th fret on the B string. So I just use my pinky, then the 8th fret, my pinky, and then finally ending on the 5th fret of the high E. And then it would just repeat. All right, so the next we're going to look at is the main riff from Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf. So this one's pretty easy. We've just got a regular E major chord here rooted on the A string. So my first finger is picking up the 7th fret of the A string, and then I'm just using my third finger to bar to pick up the 9th fret of the D and G and B string. Now, if you are a beginner and you are having problems getting that note on the B string, it's not really super important. That's the third. Without it, it's just an E5, but it still sounds good. So this we play 1, so this first strum is a quarter note. 1, and then on the downbeat of 2 we rest, and then on the and of 2 we hit this again, and then on the beat 3 we hit it again. It's like, then we rest on the downbeat of 4, and on the and of 4 we hit it again. Then on the second measure, the downbeat of 1 we rest, and on the and of 1 we hit it one more time, and then we rest on the downbeat of 2 and the and of 2, we hit it again, and then this is where we get the probably the most challenging part of it, the only real change, is that we're going to, we've got this, we're playing this E5 here, so we're on the 7th fret of the A string and the 9th fret of the D and the G string. So we're going to do this, then we're going to reach up to the 11th fret on the D string, and this is on the downbeat of 3. So we're going to pick this and pull off our pinky off, and that's 3 and. Then we're going to reach up to the 12th fret to do the same thing, 4 and. Now if you're a beginner and this is really tough to make this stretch, you could do it this way. So that way it's a little bit easier to make that change. All right, and then the last one we're going to look at is a riff from I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. This one is incredibly simple, so if you're not a beginner, this one, is probably going to be pretty boring for you, but everybody's got to start somewhere, right? All right, so this one is just made up of single notes, so we're starting here on the 2nd fret of the A string, and we're going to play this is a quarter note, and then beat 2 is tied to the downbeat of 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then for the downbeat of 4, we're going to come up to the 4th fret, 4, and on the and of 4, do a hammer onto the 5th fret. Now when we hit this on the and of 4, it is tied to the downbeat of, well, it's actually tied to beat 1, and beat 1 is a dotted quarter note. So this rings out for 4 and 1, 2, and. So on the and of 2, we hit that again, and then on the downbeat of 3, we hit it and slide down to the 4th fret. 3 and 4. And on the and, or excuse me, on the for beat 4, we just hit the 4th fret, and then the whole thing just starts over again. So there you have it, 3 fun and easy riffs from the 1960s for all the beginners out there. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.